Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks, buckle up, because today we're diving deep into a storyline that could significantly shake up the Steelers roster and consequently their chances in the upcoming season. And that story revolves around a young defensive lineman who, despite all the potential and physical tools, might be on his way out of Pittsburgh, DeMarvin Leal. Yes, you heard right. This guy, drafted with high hopes just a few seasons ago, is now at the center of roster speculation, and the reason why is as much about numbers as it is about performance. DeMarvin Leal, a third-round pick back in the 2022 NFL Draft, was seen as a promising talent coming out of Texas A&M. He's a guy who, at 6'4", 290 pounds, has all the physical attributes you could dream of for a defensive lineman: size, strength, and athleticism. But as Steelers fans, we know that translating those traits into consistent game impact is a different story altogether. And unfortunately for Leal, the numbers just don't lie. Over his 3 seasons in the league, he's played a total of just 432 snaps, not even enough to establish himself as a reliable rotational piece, let alone a cornerstone. He's only started 6 games, and even more telling, he's logged just 1 sack during that period. That's not what you expect from a guy with his athletic profile, especially in a Steelers defense that prides itself on relentless pass rushing and stout run defense. And if you look deeper, Leal has faced a variety of injuries that have hampered his development. Last year, for instance, he only dressed for 5 games and ended the season on injured reserve due to a neck issue. Injuries like these are tough for any player, but especially for a young guy trying to carve out a role in such a competitive environment. The Steelers, during this offseason, made some strategic moves to bolster their defensive front, drafting Ohio State's Jack Sawyer, for example, and bringing in fresh faces like Derek Harmon and Yahya Black in the 2025 NFL Draft. These additions are not just about adding talent, but about creating depth and competition along that defensive line. Now here's where it gets interesting. According to reports from Bleacher Report and other NFL insiders, Leal is being considered as a trade candidate, or if a trade doesn't materialize, possibly even a cut candidate before the start of the season. And the reasons are pretty straightforward. First, the team has re-signed Iskal Loudermilk and added players like Jack Sawyer, which means the room has become more crowded. The Steelers' coaching staff has also started experimenting with Leal at outside linebacker during OTAs, according to sources, which suggests they're trying to find ways to maximize his versatility. But the truth is, with Watt and Highsmith firmly established as the starters on the edge, and Nick Herbig also in the mix, Leal's path to significant playing time is narrowing fast. Let's not forget, the Steelers are a team that's always looking to build a resilient, adaptable roster. They're known for their disciplined approach to the draft and roster management, and in recent years, they've shown a willingness to make tough decisions to keep the team competitive. The fact that Leal has only appeared in 12 games in 2023, with 4 starts, and recorded a modest 4 tackles and 1 quarterback hit, doesn't paint a picture of a player who's ready to take that next step. And that's precisely why insiders like Christopher Knox pointed out that Leal might be on his way out, especially after the Steelers re-signed Loudermilk and drafted Jack Sawyer. What's particularly interesting is the financial aspect. The Steelers would save about $1.4 million in cap space if they decide to release or trade Leal. So, the decision isn't solely about performance, it's also about cap management, which is a huge part of NFL roster strategy. And given the depth along the defensive line and the linebacker room, the team might see more value in exploring a trade rather than keeping Leal as a fringe rotation player. Now, let's talk about the potential roles Leal could still play if he remains with Pittsburgh. The team has officially listed him as a defensive end, but they've also placed him on the depth chart as an outside linebacker. That kind of positional fluidity is common in today's NFL, especially for players who have the size and athleticism to fit multiple roles. If he stays, he could be used as a rotational defensive lineman or an edge rusher, providing some depth behind Watt, Highsmith, and Herbig. But with Jack Sawyer now in the mix, and the team's focus on getting younger and more athletic along that front, Leal's future isn't guaranteed. And here's the key: the Steelers are always looking ahead, always planning for the future. They have a history of making tough roster decisions if they believe it's necessary for team success. So, if a trade can bring in a valuable draft pick or other assets, it's likely to happen sooner rather than later. The question is, who's willing to take a chance on Leal's upside, given his injury history and limited production? That remains to be seen, but the NFL trade market is unpredictable, and a change of scenery might just be what Leal needs to unlock his potential, or perhaps it's the end of his journey in Pittsburgh. And let's not forget, this isn't just about one player. It's about the overall strategy of the Steelers, building a defense that's versatile, aggressive, and ready to take on the best in the league. They've shown a commitment to adding young talent through the draft, and in doing so, they're creating a competitive environment where only the best will stick. Leal's future, whether in black and gold or elsewhere, will depend on how he can adapt, improve, and seize opportunities when they come. So, Steelers fans, keep an eye on this story. This offseason could be pivotal, not just for Leal, but for the entire defensive front. The team's decisions in the coming weeks will tell us a lot about their direction and their confidence in the younger players stepping up. Pittsburgh's defense has always been a cornerstone of their success, and as we approach the new season, every move counts. Whether Leal remains part of that plan or moves on to another chapter in his career, one thing is for sure: we're in for an exciting ride, and I'll be here to keep you updated every step of the way. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all this? Do you think Leal has what it takes to turn things around and find his place in the Steelers' future, or do you see him moving on to another team? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Steelers news. We're all in this together, and I can't wait to see what the season brings for this team. The division is heating up, the AFC North is more competitive than ever, and the Steelers are always fighting to be at the top. So stay with me, stay passionate, and let's keep supporting our team through thick and thin. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Steelers.